Okay guys, I have started a series of tutorials on how to deal with writing blog articles and settings and things like that. So this way you guys can just watch the video and I don't have to spend 45 minutes to an hour on Skype with each new person that we bring on. So by now you would have gotten your email that has your username and password. You will go to this address, which I will have typed and sent to you. You will put your information in for the username and password that I sent you. Keep in mind that that password is a temporary password and can be changed. So once you're in here, obviously you guys are going to see a different view than what I see because I'm the administrator for the site, so I see a lot more options. If you want to change your password, you're just going to go to your profile under users, and you can scroll down here and you can enter yourself a new password. So the main portion that you're going to be concerned with is going to be, you'll pop up here on the dashboard. There are some dashboard options which just gives you some random statistics and things like that. So the one thing that's going to be the most important is going to be the posts. You want to get in the habit of every time you sit down to write something, you want to get in the habit of actually checking to see what's drafted. You're going to put your articles that you start in draft, so that way when other people that are writing log in, they see that you've already started an article to avoid it being the same type of article. So this is really particular to news in general or possibly class guides or something. We want to avoid overwriting each other. And the way that we're going to do that is before you start writing, always just check to see what somebody has a draft in to make sure that you're not overwriting. It's equally as important to when you start to add your new post with the title so that people can also see what you've started in the draft. So the most important thing here is you're going to go to add new. This is going to be what's going to create your article. There are a few things in here that you can completely ignore, and we'll go through that. This right here on the right hand side, you can completely ignore that. Don't check this button. If you see it, just leave it alone. This here, I'll explain this in another tutorial about what this is going to do. This is going to be something new that we're going to be implementing for what I'm going to call the idea machine. So as people are struggling with things that they want to write about, there's going to be stuff here for the idea machine, but we'll talk about that later. So the first thing you want to do is you want to enter a title. Now, I need everybody to keep in mind that part of the writing process and part of writing things for other people, especially in World of Warcraft, your title is going to be your grabber. That's going to be what we post the link on the Facebook. That's what's going to be what people share. It's going to be what people see on the website. You want your title to be clever. You want it to be, it could be a play on words. You want it to describe what you're writing about, but also to engage the audience to even get them to click into your article specifically. You need to follow a rule of thumb. The major words need to be capitalized. Do not put periods in the title. You really want to be careful with the things that you put in the title. Once you have it in there, you're just going to go right here to the right hand side and click Save Draft. It will auto save for you also with time. So if you forget to save and you click out of it, usually it's already saved it for you, so that's not a big deal. This box here is going to be your main editor. So this is going to be a test post. You don't have to start writing anything. The first process that you're going to start once you've got your title, you've saved your draft, the second step you're going to go to is you're going to find the category that your post falls into. We've pretty much well covered all the categories, although it might come to pass sometime in the future that you guys have something and you're not sure what the category should be. Just shoot me a message in the group, whatever the case may be, so that you can make sure that you have the right category. This is very important because when people are searching the site and they're clicking into these subjects, they need to be able to get the information that they need from these subjects only. You never want to use more than one category per post, so you never want to have a moment where you've clicked two. So by default, it'll automatically have the World of Warcraft news as its default. You're going to want to make sure if it's not news that you unclick it and you click something else. So the third thing, once you have your category on the right hand side here, is you want to set your featured image. When you click that set your featured image, you're going to be able to upload files. You can drag and drop, or you can select. For this purpose, I'm just going to click one that I already have, and I'm going to just click set featured image. So as you see, it puts it here. The set featured image is what shows on this page here. So on the main page, it's going to show in the slider here. And it's also going to show on the article pages. So this is going to be your thumbnail preview. Every article needs to have a featured image. Every single article. It could be clever. It could be something you found. I mean, as you see, we've gotten pretty... The hot fixes, you guys don't have to worry about the hot fixes. Normally, I'll be the one that grabs those and puts those up there. But as you see, that's what the set featured image does. So you always want to make sure that you have one. Now, in a post, because you have a set featured image, in the beginning of your article, you never want to start an image off in the beginning of the article. Because what's going to happen is in your set featured image, when you actually click to preview that article, which you can click preview, it'll pop up. As soon as you hit preview, it's going to pop up another window, and it's going to give you a preview of your actual article as it will be on the page. If you have an image at the very top of these words, the image is going to post next to this, and it's going to look horrible. So you want to make sure that you do not have an image here. So I'm going to pull from another article that was already written just so that we can give it some, we can put some stuff in here. That way you guys have a good idea of the way that it should look. So I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to paste. Oops. So this is something that I've already previously written. So when you're writing it, it's very important that you justify. Everything you do needs to be in this justify block. You select your words and then you hit justify. The reason for this being is because we'll hit preview again. When you go to your preview, see how pretty and blocked it is on the right hand side? We want to make sure that we're following that. So this is going to be how it's going to look. If you want to add another picture, you'll just hit enter a few times and you're going to go to add media gallery. Once again, you can upload. All good. If you want to insert from a URL, this would be the time for you if you want to insert a YouTube video. So if you want to insert a YouTube video, you'll just paste the URL for the YouTube video and you'll click insert into post, and it's going to pop your video right into the middle and it's going to look beautiful. But let's go back and we're just going to choose the media library. This is what's important when you're inserting in the middle of your article, so not the featured image. You want to have a caption if there's a caption needed. So this would be especially nice if you're featuring somebody's cosplay or you're featuring a screenshot and you don't want to necessarily talk about the image in the article itself. You want to have a caption. So we're just going to put this is a test caption and it needs to go here. You're going to insert it into post, and as you see, it's really beautiful underneath. So no pictures should ever be on the left or the right. They should always be centered unless you have two images side by side. Then you'll have one on the left and one on the right. So we have a really beautiful picture here. When you click on it, you'll hit center. And then I'm just going to go back to the preview. You want to make use of this preview button and use it often, because this preview button is really going to show you what your article is going to look like to the public, so you can really make sure that it's at its best. There's no need to sign your article because, as you see, it'll automatically pop up with your name. So as you see, it's nice and beautiful and pretty and all that good stuff. So once you've done this, you don't need to worry about font or sizes. Some things you want to stay away from. Don't capitalize letters, such as if you're trying to focus a word, like don't do a word in caps. The reason you don't want to do a word in caps is because if you start to do several of them, it looks really, really ugly. The only time you would want to do that is if it's, say, a sentence and you want to capitalize that whole sentence as if to say you're yelling. Do not use multiple exclamation points such as this. One is more than enough. Avoid overusing commas. It's a common mistake. People think every time they pause that they need to insert a comma, and that's just not the case. So make sure that you don't have to worry too much about this if you're not the best at the grammar and stuff like that, because I will actually be editing these before they're actually published. So it's not going to be too big of a deal. I'll work out the extra stuff after that. So you have your article. Let's say you're not done with it. You can just save the draft. And if you need to back out of it, or you've closed your browser down, when you go to your all posts, you'll see your post right here. This stuff over here, the SEO title, description, and keywords, you don't need to worry about that. I'm actually going to take care of that. So clicking back in, another thing that you want to be mindful of are the tags. Tags are going to be what Google picks up and says, I'm going to show this article when someone searches Warlock PvP. whatever. You're going to separate them with commas. The tags are going to be what your post is about in a Google search sense. So this post is specifically about Twitter, so I would say World of Warcraft Twitter. I might say WoW news. There might be a few different tags that I will have. That's going to be up to you. As you learn to manipulate the system a little bit more, it's going to be a little bit easier for you to understand. Now, once you've hit save draft again and you go back to the all posts, you're actually going to see your tags show up on the right hand side. So as you see, you'll be able to look in and see other examples, and whatever you would type in to Google to search something that you want to know about World of Warcraft is going to be optimal here in reference to what you're writing about. So once you've done that, you're ready to go. You will not see a publish button. I'm administrator, so I see the publish button. You're actually going to see a blue button that says submit for review. That submit for review is going to send me a ding to my phone, and that's going to tell me that your article's ready. I'm going to click in, I'm going to check it for errors, editing, make sure it looks right, and then I'm going to publish it for you. This has really been able to streamline in making sure that we're putting out quality stuff. Although the majority of us, we're not professional writers, but we want to put out the best quality that we possibly can, and having a second person look at it is always going to be the best form of action. So that's pretty much how you do that. Ignore the YouTube. That's not going to be how you're going to add YouTube videos. You're going to continue to do it via the add video or add media insert from URL and copy and paste that YouTube. And actually, let me just use Pwnecast. Let me use Pwnecast as a example, and I'm going to pull the last episode so that you can see. You just, in the address bar, you're going to just copy, and as you see, it'll insert it into post. And in this case, because I clicked in here, it put it at the top. If you want it at the bottom, you're going to want to exit out of that. So inserting pictures and inserting posts and things of that nature, you're going to really want to make sure that your cursor is in the right spot. So now we're going to go ahead and add media again. That was a good example for me to show you, to make sure that you're clicking in. So we're going to insert into post, and as you see, it dropped it really, really pretty right there. We're going to preview, which it's going to be on the same tab you had open previously, so you'll click over to it. Boom. Amazing. So really, really easy, really, really simple. If you're doing an article that's based off a machinima video or something YouTube related, you want to make sure that you do include the YouTube video to make sure that we're giving proper credit to the reason we're writing it. Also, it's very, very important that if you've gotten information from another website, that you give them credit at the end of the post. If you read another article, if you read it on Wowhead, if you read it on Blizzard Watch, you want to make sure that you're giving credit where credit's due. So you want to make sure at the bottom you want to cite basically your source if you took it from. If you took specific information, if you took like a guide breakdown, or if you took a map, or if you took artwork, whatever, you want to make sure that you're giving that credit to that specific individual. Moving forward, we want to avoid looking at websites such as Wowhead and the old WoW Insider, which is now Blizzard Watch. This is going to avoid us poisoning the well and giving us ideas on stuff to write about. I want to make sure that we're really separating ourselves from the heavy hitters in this industry and making sure that we are unique and we are making this personal. Keep in mind that when you're writing your articles, Pwnecast has always been about the player from a player's perspective. We are your average, everyday, random people in the trenches. That's how you want to approach your article writing. It doesn't all have to be fancy professional. It needs to reach people on a everyday player level, something that's easy to read, concise, well thought out, something that allows them to really say, Wowhead posted this about news on nerfs, but what does this really mean to me? What does it mean to a player on their perspective? You're free to do editorials, things that are good for you. Like I've started Bell's Lock Talk. It's going to be my gripes, my concerns, my advice, my things about warlocks, and funny editorials and funny stories. We do also have a section that's for funny, which is the Trade Chat Troll. where you can do spoof articles, whatever the case may be. Really, you're not limited on the things that you write about. If you're going to be doing class guides, make sure that it's a class that you're really knowledgeable about, and make sure you know what you're talking about from your perspective. Otherwise, somebody will call us out on it, and I want to make sure that we're putting the good stuff out there. So if you've mained a tune for, the whole time you've ever played, or you really, really know a solid built class, you can feel free to write class guides, which we have. We do have a category for that, and you can feel free to use all your knowledge in game, because most of the people know that this is our perspective. So that's pretty much the one thing that you needed to be concerned about. Like I said, you want to keep doing the preview button, and then you will not see the green publish button. You will see the submit for review. If you want to delete it, you're just going to move to trash. Never fear if you accidentally delete a post and you move it to the trash. When you're in this view, if you just click on the trash can, it's going to show that post and it'll allow you to restore it. I am working on the forums. The forums are not up yet. You will not see this until the forums are ready. You might already see it, but it's not ready. Once that's up and going, everybody will have moderator permissions for the forums. All this stuff here on the left-hand side, the stuff that you can actually see, you don't really need to be concerned with that, because I'll make sure that I take care of that. You probably do see the FIA gallery. You never want to touch this one, but the FIA gallery you probably do see. If you go to Manage Galleries under FIA Gallery, you will see that Bloke has already started doing galleries and putting stuff in there. If you want to start your own gallery, you can add a gallery, make sure that the naming conventions are as such, and you want to make sure that you do all that. I'm going to have a separate video on how to do a video gallery, as well as a few other things as we start to go through. So that's pretty much all I have for this tutorial. If you have any issues, questions, or concerns, please feel free to send me an inbox, send me an email, whatever the case may be, or just ask in the group and we'll get you taken care of. For those of you that are just joining us, thank you for coming on board, and we're excited to see what you're going to write about.